Hey kings, what's poppin'? It's me, James of Regret, and today there's a video I want to look at that discusses a subject that's a pretty big issue for me. The following video features a former metal musician who is arguing that $70 games are fine and that you should buy games at $70 or else the games industry will die. After all, who gives a shit if you're poor? Hand over those $70 or gaming is dead. Anyways, from that alone, we can be sure to get a few laughs out of this guy. So sit back and relax, kings, and let's get this show rolling.
Yo, so today we're gonna be talking about why is everybody bitching about $70 games? It's dumb. Let's get brutal, brutal, brutal.
This guy was a metal musician? Guess we know why he was.
What's up everybody, it's your boy, the Fornatron! And today, we're going to be talking about the controversial topic of why games are $70 and games are raising in price and how they're pricing people out and I got a few things to say about this. Let's get into it.
Did we really need a second intro? Does he think that we have short-term memory loss or something? Does he think we've somehow forgotten we're watching his video? I mean, I know the average attention span of a person these days are pretty short, but I don't think it's that short.
Alright.
Ah, yes. The illustrious third intro, the sign of a truly high-quality YouTube channel. You can rest assured that channels who roll 3 separate intros in quick succession would never consider wasting your time with pointless content bloat.
So this all started when Sony announced that PS5 games would be $10 more than their PS4 equivalents. And this drove everyone crazy. Everyone flipped their shit over this.
Yeah, people who were accustomed to paying a certain amount of money for a product don't like that they're suddenly being charged for more with the vague promise of getting better games.
So games are now $70 where prior they were $60, so a $10 difference. And I don't get why people are upset about this. Inflation's been a thing for a really long time, and I feel like games have been in like the $70, $80, sometimes $90 mark for years, even when I was a kid and I was buying Super Nintendo games.
Ah, but he's missing a crucial piece of the economics puzzle. Inflation does not operate in a void. Not only has the value of things changed, but also the value of money as well. I hopped on over to Google and did a quick search. $60 of yesteryear is around $100 today. Games have gotten cheaper since the days of Mortal Kombat 3. And I know why, but I'll leave that for now since it'll be more relevant later.
Okay, I wasn't buying them, my parents were buying them, but I feel like they're the same price. So yeah, I'm old.
How do you do, fellow kids?
I'm going to refrain from making fun of him solely for being old, but you can tell that he hasn't exactly been keeping up to date with how things work as well as he thinks he does.
I really don't get why people think that games being priced at $70 prices people out. That's just not true.
Yes, it is true, you out-of-touch soy boy. Even if by some miracle large swaths of American aren't getting priced out because of the $10 increase, not everyone is American. For example, Australians are already paying upwards of $80 Australian for a full-price game. And that was in 2012, almost a whole decade ago. If game prices go up again, Lord only knows how much they'll be paying for in the future. This applies to literally every other country or game out there, with varying degrees of severity. I'm already priced out of buying Samurai Warriors 5, which is like 970,000 IDR for the base fucking game alone, without any of the DLC. I can probably buy a week or two's worth of groceries for my entire family with that much money.
If you want to have a game on launch day, right when it comes out, yeah, you're gonna pay full price for it. That's the way. That's just how it is.
This is the way.
No shit, Sherlock. What other miraculous revelation are you going to tell us next? Is the sky blue? Combine this with my previous segment about people getting priced out from the price hikes, then it's simply inevitable that people are going to get pissed.
If you can't afford to buy that game, don't buy it.
Geez Louise. Because telling potential customers not to buy a product they might have wanted to buy otherwise is totally a good idea. Because that totally went well in the past, am I right? Battlefield 5. And besides, he's going to contradict himself in this point anyways and tell people that they're killing the games industry because they're not buying day one at full price. But we are getting ahead of ourselves here.
Wait till it goes on sale. A ton of people in my PS5 disc versus digital edition always comment how they're buying games used, or they're buying them on sale on Amazon, or they're buying them off of eBay. They're pretty much buying them every other way other than right off the rip, brand new, launch day, or through the digital store. So I don't get it.
How can you literally not see this? Do I have to spell it out for you in excruciating detail? Do you know why people aren't buying games on day one? It's because people think it's not worth it. People are hesitant in whipping out a whole $60 for just one game they're not even sure they're going to like. And despite all of this, somehow, you think it's perfectly fine to jack up those prices even more. Again, do you seriously not see the disconnect in the logic? How are you unable to put 2 and 2 together? Certainly you have more than 2 brain cells to rub together, right?
Like, a lot of you are not buying these games day one, which is a shame. Being a former musician, I really feel on this topic because a lot of musicians, it's make or break for them with their record company if their album doesn't make a huge amount of sales in its first week. It's the same with movies on launch weekend or when the movie first releases. It's the same with games.
Not only is that provably untrue, it's also an apples to oranges comparison. With music and movies, you literally only get one chance to get things right because once you ship them to record stores or theaters, it is exceedingly difficult to alter them again midway. It's different with games because you can continuously improve on it even after the first week to the point that it'll catch a second wind. Prime examples being Battlefront 2 2017 and Splitgate. Those games had not so good launches for different reasons each, but thanks to clever decision making after launch was able to pick up momentum again years after.
More people need to be buying games day one.
See what I mean earlier when I say he contradicts himself? First he tells people that if they can't pay full price then they shouldn't buy it. But then he tells us that we should be buying these games day one. Please make up your mind. You can't tell us to hold on but then literally turn around and tell us to jump off a second later. What's worse is that if games are getting pricier, wouldn't that mean that less people would be able to afford it? So by his logics, games that raise their prices to $70 are literally hobbling themselves in the foot.
But I understand, a lot of you can't afford that. Hell, I can't afford to be buying games like every week.
So he does understand. So how come he said earlier that people won't get priced out if prices go up?
I only buy the games that I want to play. There are a lot of games on PS5 that have come out that look great. Ratchet and Clank, Sackboy, Bugsnax, I don't know, there's a bunch that look amazing. Spider-Man Miles Morales, again, those games look incredible, but they're not my type of game, and I don't buy them. I don't buy them on launch day, I don't even buy them on sale, because they're just not my type of game.
So he does things like literally everybody does. I'm pretty sure that if given the choice, people only buy games that they like.
I don't know where the pressure is coming from for a lot of people to be buying games day one regardless if they know they like them or not.
Oh my fucking... How can you literally tell people that game companies are failing if you don't buy their stuff day one, then say that nobody is pressuring people to buy day one? Again, like, do you have more than 2 brain cells to rub together?
I feel like by now, if you have been playing games for more than a couple of years, you know what kind of games you like. So you should know which games you're looking forward to and which ones you want to invest in on buying day one when they come out.
How in God's green earth are people supposed to know if they'll like a game or not if they've not played it yet? Interested in a game, sure, but like a game? That's not how it works. For example, I don't like Just Cause 3 despite the game looking like it was made specifically for me. A chaotic open-world sandbox with an emphasis on creativity and destruction should have been my jam, and yet I can't even get myself to play anymore after 4 hours. Do you see now why so many people are hesitant to pay full price for a game they're not even sure they're gonna like? Especially since in some platforms, you can't even get a refund. PlayStation.
If you're brand new to gaming, yeah, it's a little bit more tricky, but I would kind of buy some older games that are on sale or try out a service like PS Now or Xbox Game Pass and then play some free games and then find which ones you like and then build off of there.
It really does boggle my mind to see that he does understand that people are hesitant to pay full price for games but still stands behind the push to buy games day one. He even cites Game Pass, a digital rental service that exists to facilitate that sort of try before you buy consumer behavior. But of course, he has a separate video claiming that Game Pass is a problem, but he can't see an issue with $70 games.
I don't get why people are frustrated by this. Gaming companies have grown so much, even in the last 10 years. Games are huge epics now. They are the equivalent to Marvel movies that cost $200 million to make. and games like equal that or more. Like, they're insane. The prices must rise. If we're expecting the kind of quality that we've been getting, especially recently, yeah, the cost of gaming has to go up.
Now that is a very reasonable argument if it weren't debunked by this next thing I'm going to bring up. You see, the cost of game development isn't the only thing that's been growing rapidly over the years. Can you guess what other section of gaming has exploded in recent years? If you guessed the gaming market, you'd be entirely correct. The gaming market is literally growing faster than it's ever been. There are more people spending money on games today than in 1995. As such, the total cost can be spread out even more. So even if development costs have doubled or tripled in the past 3 decades or so, the amount of people out there who could be interested in your games have also quadrupled or mayhaps even quintupled.
But again, you are not obligated to pay full price for games if you don't want to, if you don't have the means to. If you don't have the means to, then yeah, continue buying games used, or buy them off eBay, or buy them when they go on sale.
But you said before that the success of a game is determined in the first week. That essentially means that if we don't buy the games day one full price, the games industry will slowly fail. So which one will it be?
What I will say is, if there's a franchise that you follow, especially if it's from a smaller developer, save up some money and buy their game on launch day. It means a lot. It really pushes that developer into the next phase, or becoming like a AA title to a AAA title in their next title.
This is probably the only bit in this video that I actually agree with. Unlike AAA devs that have massive publishers as a safety net, most indie devs don't have that luxury. If you're serious about supporting them, if you're guaranteed to like the game, and if you have the means to support them, I suggest you should buy their games at full price. Most indie games are cheaper than AAA games anyway, so it should be a much more affordable deal. Either that or try and convince the devs to jump on Game Pass, since indie devs get a big fat paycheck from Big Daddy Microsoft to have those games in the service.
My favorite example, and you've probably heard me say it 100 million times, is From Software. If From Software never got the chances they got with Dark Souls, they would not have ever released Bloodborne or any of the rest of the Dark Souls games, or Sekiro, or now Elden Ring. It took them building their fan base, or people finding out about them, for them to get to where they are today. If the word of mouth then spread on Demon's Souls back on 2009, From Software probably would have fizzled out, or maybe continue to make those Armored Core games from way back in the day, and just been another irrelevant game developer in the times now.
See, he's repeating again that we shouldn't be pressured to pay full price and buy day one. But if we don't, the devs won't be successful and they'll fail and eventually die out. Totally not a schizophrenic message. Also, don't be dissing on the Armored Core games like that. They were actually fun.
I challenge you. Don't just buy every game out there.
Well, looks like I've already won since I actually have self-control and don't buy every new game that I come across. Does he seriously think people just splurge out and buy all of the games?
Find a developer or a franchise that you believe in and buy their next game on launch day. It means a lot, it's going to help the developer in a big way, and that's how they get to the next level and make AAA titles.
Easy if they were indie games, since those games are usually pretty cheap anyways, but what if they're $70 games like this guy believes games should be? A lot of people are unwilling to pay $70 for a single game, especially if they were already hesitant with paying $60.
Anyway, I just wanted to rant about this topic, something that I feel passionately about. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, what your opinions are. Am I wrong? Let me know.
Yeah, you are wrong. Anyways, we're done with this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you feel like it. This is Teams of Regret, wishing good luck and Godspeed to all of you. Signing out.